Good evening, gentlemen. How you doing?
Doing all right.
All right, today we're going to be looking at Immortal Planet by TWU Game. That is a difficult one to say. TW Games. So, this is in the never-ending stream of games trying to be Souls-like in another genre, combat, camera style, is a pixel graphics, isometric, Souls-like game. That is a lot to say.
That is a lot to say.
There are those who speak of the icy planet, still more who seek it. Pause. But none know the truth of the Immortals.
Immortal Planet!
Oh, there's a lot of them. Look at them.
Yeah, there are a lot of them.
Alright, so of course you're going to start in a spawn point, which is also like a reset rest area.
And a box.
What do you mean?
It was a box.
It was a box. It was a metal box.
He came in a box.
Like a robot.
Yeah.
They come in boxes.
Maybe he is a robot.
So what do you guys think of the graphics first and foremost? Because that is one of the biggest draws, is the camera angle, the graphics. This is what's trying to get it to stand out from other Souls-likes. What do you take for it? Me, personally, think it's a little dark. Not enough diversity as you go on.
I think it looks nice. I've always liked this angle. Like, there's a reason this angle's used so much. It lets you see everything, despite being a flat angle. So I've always liked the angle. I like the look of it quite a bit.
By the way, that was a real-time load into the next screen.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
You mean nice sarcastically, right? Because that hung for a while.
No, that was good.
It was good, yeah. I mean, graphically, yeah, I actually do like this style of graphics. It does harken me back to some of the older stuff, but it looks very crisp and clean for being that pixel style graphics.
I really like the little details. Like when you saw in the previous room, he was interacting with the console. Here he was opening the chest. You see, like, there's no actual mechanic to it, but like he's pushing buttons, like he's opening it.
Yeah.
Even with 16-bit, like, minimalistic graphics, you can put small details in there. It does feel a little slow when you're not, like, running or dashing, though.
Yeah, like the walking animation. Well, the animation is fine, but the walking speed is definitely.
It kind of looks more like he's shuffling, like a slow zombie, right?
Yeah, he's a zombie robot.
He might be a zombie robot. We don't know.
What is a zombie robot?
It's clearly what he is.
Apparently, it's this.
See, Alex knows.
Look.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That is a long time
It does seem a little bit long. I wish there's something else going on, because then I would know it. Because it doesn't seem like the screen is frozen then, right? Because if you just see the character like frozen midair like that, you're like, did the game break?
But think about this, okay? It's a Souls-like. So you're going to die.
Yeah.
Right? You die, you go back to your checkpoints. If every door that you have to now catch up on has that long of a load time, that does get a little annoying.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, no, it would. I guess it depends on how many rooms, how big the rooms are. It doesn't seem too bad this far, like it's early. Oh, man.
You could always try not to die. Oh.
Yeah, don't die, then you don't have
You said that after the death. That was intentional. So now we go back to the box.
But that load screen wasn't too long.
Actually, now that you mentioned, that was kind of shorter than just going from one screen to the other.
Yeah, in a lot of Souls games, you have a pretty long load time between dying and coming back to life.
Yeah, that hangs.
That
hangs. Like, I'm waiting.
Right? Like,
It's a bit long.
dying took less time.
It almost would have been better if they put the load screen on the dying, but they loaded everything, right?
Yeah.
Because it feels like they're just loading each room, and each room isn't too bad. But, yeah, it does mean there's going to be a load every time. I really like the looks of this.
I like the combat so far. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, although it seems a little slow at sometimes, that's okay for some of the Souls games. I mean,
admittedly, if we're talking about Souls-like games, not talking about, like, say, Bloodborne, they are meant to be more slow, methodical, planned out. They were always more of the blocking slowly as you enter a room rather than dodging out of like harm's way all the time.
Yeah.
So it's not thematically it fits thematically, is what I'm trying to say.
It's more strategic, right?
The swings and stuff seem heavy too, like they have that level of weight to them. And like his dodge there, that was really cool.
Well, yeah, but it's still slow.
Of course, but that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Sometimes you just want to make a game that's a bit slower than forces you to learn the moves and take action.
Oh, I can knock people off. All right, that works.
I mean,
That's always a fun way to kill people.
does that not exist in every Souls game as well?
I'm sure
does.
that's
Knock enemies off of a ledge so that you can get some cheap, easy wins?
Well, except for that, sometimes the loot ends up going with them.
That's very true.
I thought we played a game not too long ago where the loot, if you knocked somebody off a ledge, would, like, magically float back up, but I don't remember what that was.
Oh, what is this?
A lot of questions.
Yeah, question mark.
I have a lot of questions.
Oh, I guess you can't interact with it when that happens. All right.
We will never know.
No,
We'll never, ever know. So one of the unique mechanics in this one is that if you dodge into an enemy, it will actually serve as a stun.
I like that. It kind of makes me think of like a shield bash almost, like the same kind of idea.
I think I'd like that more if it was like a bit more specific, like an ability.
Now,
rather
I will say that that's actually one of the places where you were praising the isometric view. It's not the greatest to aim something like a dash to stun when it's not, like, say, more straight. Like, you can...
Yeah, that is very true.
What's one thing that always sucks in isometric games?
Platform.
Wow, I thought I might have to guide you to that answer. It's platforming. And that's because, while you can see everything, like you said, it's tougher to aim.
Yeah, because you're pushing up, left, up, right, down, left, down,
exactly. So there are a lot of times where you just don't dash to stun because you're more liable to miss and leave yourself open to get hit. Right? So, I mean, I get the uniqueness of that, but I feel like maybe the 3/4 isometric is not great, like, not the greatest for that. Maybe more actual top-down would have been better off for it, because then you can use the actual up, down, left, right directions for the dash.
It is the kind of thing that I would usually leave out of an isometric game, is any form of platforming.
But, I mean, that is, again, it becomes a unique mechanic.
Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for. That just ends up being ignored, right? Like in a game where you do have the option to parry or block, and you end up getting good at one or the other, and then you just kind of ignore, unless, say, there's a specific enemy or boss that requires it. Whereas in this, you just end up thinking like, hey, that's one of the cooler, unique selling points, but I'm not going to use it because it's too dangerous. And the risk versus reward, when it means that you're going to die, go back to the start, have to redo it all, doesn't really pan out.
Yeah, it's one of those things that the reason it's unique is because people have realized it doesn't really work. Like, there's a difference between a unique when you have a great idea and unique when you have an idea that other people have said, hey, this is not a good idea. Don't do it.
What?
I get exactly what you're talking about, Alex.
Yeah, see, he understands.
You know what's missing from your explanation?
Nothing.
Dragons.
Okay, you got me.
It's because you have to use your imagination. Sam.
Oh,
So
okay,
here we found a shortcut,
Yeah.
which
nice.
is not going to be at all a surprise to anybody who plays a Soul game. Leveling up is kept fairly basic, but
Yeah.
it has exactly what you expect. Your main stats, you can choose where you want to be proficient in it. But like any game, you risk then resetting all the enemies, whatever, but you have your shortcuts. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost redundant to say, but these games that are trying to be Souls-like games in other genres, they get a lot of the Souls-like stuff down.
Yep.
Right? So,
If it works, it works.
well, that's just it, right? It's kind of tough to talk about when, if you know Souls-like, just saying it's Souls-like pretty much explains it all to anybody. And now, here we go, we've reset the loop again, so to speak.
Yep.
But yeah, the shortcut. I think this is like adequate. This is sort of the expected right now.
I think we get what it's going for, you know? Again, like you said, isometric Souls game. Okay, this is what I see. I think the only difference is because it's futuristic as opposed to more fantasy, right?
Well, and that's what I'll say. When you get to the point of like being a Souls-like, it's both a compliment and maybe not necessarily an insult, is that it's like Souls. Which might sound cookie cutter, but I mean, when that's your objective, that's what it is.
It does look a little cookie cutter, yeah.
Alright, so why don't we get to the question of every episode? Do you continue after the first impression?
You know, really depending on the price, I would actually.
$20 currently on the PlayStation Store.
Yep,
That's
I
not
could see
too bad.
myself playing this.
I think if it plays like it looks like it plays, provided that the game plays like it's a little hard.
It's
to
a
tell.
little stiff.
Yeah. I think if I like the feel of the gameplay, this looks like an interesting enough game that I would give it a continued play through the end.
I'm actually gonna go with not continue after the first impression, just because of the reasons that we listed. It's a little too cookie cutter, where if I wanted to play a Souls-like, I would probably just play the deluge of better Souls-like. It's a little bit slow and clunky, and there's other games that did it better. That's not to say that you're gonna lose out having spent time playing it, because it's a shorter game. You can beat it in about 8 hours and not feel like you lost too much, but there we have it.
All right, well, that's that then.
Hey, did you like that video? If you did, be sure to let us know by clicking the like button and leaving a comment. If you want to be first in line for any new content, be sure to subscribe to our channel and then hit up our Facebook page. The link's in the description below to see what's coming up next.